Hello everyone, welcome back. This is English Now and this is our today's topic. You don't need perfect English. You do need this. Yes. What is this? We shall be discussing this in today's video in the coming slides. So let's start the video. Let's talk about the video will be useful for whom. It is going to be beneficial for learners who didn't study in English medium schools or anyone trying to improve their English. They're also going to be benefited by watching this video. So let's start the video with my telling you something that no one tells you. What is that? You don't need perfect English to impress people, to be able to speak. In fact, most fluent speakers you admire are not perfect at all. So the question is that, what do they have that you don't? Is it grammar or vocabulary? No, it's not that. They have this. And what is this particular thing? We shall be discussing in today's video in the coming slides. So you will get to know exactly what it is. Let's start with that. The big myth. What is a big myth? How many of you feel I start speaking English when my grammar becomes perfect? If you think this way, then you might be making the big mistake, because perfection is a trap. It's never going to happen. Most of the people are trapped in this thing. You keep waiting, learning rules, watching videos, but you never start speaking. And the truth is, no one speaks perfect English. Literally no one. Even native speakers make mistakes. So people who have their first language as English also make mistakes, but still they speak confidently. How does it happen? Because they don't focus on perfection. They focus on communication, which is delivering the message. So your focus should also be on delivering your thoughts to the people rather than being perfect. So let's take about real life example. Imagine there are two people, A and B. The condition of both people are different. Person A has perfect grammar, knows advanced vocabulary, but speaks very slowly and hesitates in speaking, thinks too much before saying a word. Now there's a person B who makes small grammar mistakes, uses simple words, but he speaks smoothly and confidently. Now the question is, who will be more impressive? Yes, this will be person B, because communication is not about showing knowledge. It's about delivering your thoughts or delivering your message clearly. So as long as you are able to convey your thoughts to the people you're talking to, that's all you need. Now the real thing you need is what? It's this. So what is this that I talked about initially in the video when I started off? This we are going to discuss now. These are confidence, clarity, and flow. Remember, confidence, clarity, and flow. So to be able to understand this, let's break them down so that we're able to understand the clear picture. Confidence is not fear of making mistakes. If you're making, just make one. Not overthinking every sentence, whichever thing you have to say, just say that. If you don't have both these, you will be confident. So confidently you have to speak. Now there's clarity. Clarity is using simple sentences that people understand. Yes, your main target is to make people understand what you're speaking and not to impress them. So clarity has to be there, that you have to use simple sentences that your listeners are able to understand. Now there is flow. So flow is you have to continuously speak without stopping. So speaking without stopping again and again is flow, and that is important. This is how communication happens. So you can imagine these in your first language as well, that you do that, and same thing you have to do in English. These three things matter much more than perfect grammar. So now the question after learning to this is why you are stuck. This is the question. If this is so simple, then why you are still stuck? It's because of three habits. We are stuck when we have to speak, and these are overthinking grammar. Yes, before speaking we get stuck in thinking which grammar tense we should use. For example, should I use past perfect or simple past? Now, this is something that I can make a completely separate video on, but in a nutshell I can tell you simple past is used 90%. Don't translate from Hindi to English as we are taught in the books. When I shall be making the video, I'll make the video in the detail, but you have to remember this 90% you have to use simple past. Now, fear of judgment. What will people think? Yes, people are too busy. You have to understand, you have to remember that they're too busy thinking of themselves. Why will anyone think of you? Not practicing speaking just by watching videos only. Speaking, listening, speaking, these are the only videos that you're watching constantly. This is also a big mistake. You can't learn swimming by watching videos. Just as this happens, in the same way you won't be able to learn English without practicing. So same with English. Same thing goes with English. You need to remember. Now, what you should do instead to be able to speak the language. Now let's talk about the solutions. Start speaking with simple English. Very, very simple English initially you have to start speaking with. Don't try to sound smart, try to sound clear. Whichever thing you have to say, you have to be clear and simple. So instead of start speaking with this phrase, for example, I would like to express my opinion, this phrase, instead of using this, use this one. I want to say something, and it's very simple thing. Everyone in daily conversation uses this. Even in your job interviews or in the school interviews, if you're attending, these are going to be good. Stop translating in your head. Now, this is a big mistake. Many people translate from their first language to the second one or the targeted one. You don't have to do this. Whichever is your first language, don't translate from that one to English. Just start thinking directly in English. How this is going to happen? Even small thoughts like I'm hungry. So, for example, if you want to eat something or drink water or I'll go now, every simple thing you have to think in English. These small steps you have to take. Now practice daily, even at the time when you're alone. Talk to yourself. Yes, initially it may feel strange, but gradually you will understand that it's working. Describe your day. How? For example, if you wake up at 7, you can say, I woke up at 7. Or, I brush my teeth. I check my phone. So whichever activity is happening around you, you might be doing that. You have to look at the activity and think in English. This builds flow. Accept mistakes. Now this is another point which is important. Now mistake is something that everyone does. You have to remember, you have to understand that mistakes are not your enemy, but silence is. Every mistake you make improves you. So if you're making a mistake, just make one. Allow yourself to make mistake and learn from that. Because humans make mistakes, right? And you're a human, just like anybody else is. So remember this. You don't need perfect English. You need courage to speak, consistency to improve, and confidence to continue. So you have to start today. You don't have to start tomorrow, not next week either, but today. Because the moment you start speaking, that's the moment your English starts improving. So remember this and start your journey. All the best. We shall meet again in another video. That's all for today's video. How did you like the video? You can share your thoughts. What else you want to watch? You can share that also down in the comment box. Until then, take care and thank you for watching.